As expected, that wet weather has arrived. That's Contado stuck in the river crossing. And that is going to play beautifully into the hands of Quintero. He'll take the class lead now.
A lot of hydroplaning, a lot of water. Had a lot of fun, to be honest. It was a good stage, but unfortunately our teammates had a little bit of a rough time. I got stuck in a river, so it's happy to be first overall. Gonna get back to the bivouac, shower, relax. 13 more days, 12 more days. Oh no, that much longer? Oh dang, we got a long way to go. Did you see the videos?
Yeah, I saw Juan Pablo get washed away in a river, dude.
Oh, I remember that spot. I remember hydroplaning across that. I'm like,
and I remember telling Gustavo, I'm like, dude, this is sketchy. Yeah. And he's like, turn more this way. And I'm like, bro, I'm a passenger right now. We're not touching the ground.
He's all, go Captain, go Captain. I'm like, I can't go anywhere. I'm trying.
I'm going wherever the car takes us, my friend.
Yeah.
All right. Well, welcome, guys. That was one of the craziest things that I've ever seen in a Dakar. And thanks you guys for joining us. If you guys are tuned in, we have the Red Bull Junior Off-Road team here. It's not really junior anymore. I think you guys are kind of at the top of the class now, it seems like. So maybe we ditch the junior thing and just go with the Red Bull Off-Road team. But we have AJ Jones here. We have Seth Quintero, and we have Mitch Guthrie Jr. So thanks for joining us on your guys' rest day. Did you guys get any rest today?
No, not a lot.
No. Right on. Well, yeah, we really appreciate you guys coming on. And I know you guys don't have a lot of time, so I have a list of some questions here that we're going to try to go through. So we'll start off right at the top. Can you guys kind of explain what is actually the T3 class and what is the difference? AJ, I know you raced T4 before. So what is the big difference between the T3 and the T4?
I would say like the two main things is the size of the restrictor. The T3 has a smaller restrictor, or excuse me, a bigger restrictor, so we get more speed, more more acceleration, and a higher top speed. We're allowed to go 135. And the T4s, they have different restrictor, and their top speed is 125. And then as far as that goes, also the width of the car, it's built a little bit differently. So the stock size is the T4, and then the little bit wider car is the T3. So those are the two main differences.
Right on. And then do you guys all have windshields this year? I know we obviously saw Seth did because he got a big hole in his, but Mitch, do you have a windshield?
I'm the one guy that doesn't, pretty much. So it's rough, man. When we're going on, first of all, where we are right now, it's freezing cold. So the liaisons are terrible. And then, like the other day when it was raining on us, when you saw everyone getting their cars flooded, we were heading back to the bivouac and it started absolutely downpouring on us. And basically my seat like turned into a pool. So it's rough sometimes for sure. I'm pushing the engineers hard, really pushing them. So hopefully the next race we'll have one.
Yeah, I don't.
Why don't you guys just go to the store and like get some plexiglass or something to put in front of you at least, or something? Go take a windshield out of something else.
So this has been a big battle, just at least to get one for the liaison that we could take off and like zip tie on. But unfortunately, the rules, it has to be a glass windshield. So we can't even do something for the liaison or whatever. So.
All right. So, you guys are talking about liaison, and, a lot of people, they don't really realize how far you guys are actually driving every day. So you guys give us a little rundown of when you wake up, where do you actually, most of the time you have to drive to the start sometime, and then you race, and then you have to drive after that, right? How far are you guys actually driving in the car every day?
A lot of our, what?
It's all about yesterday.
Yeah, yesterday was brutal. I think yesterday we started, how long was our liaison in the morning?
It was only
it was about 100 kilometers, which wasn't too. That's probably one of the shortest liaisons that we'll have the whole rally. So what we basically do is we get in the race cars in the morning with all of our gear on and everything, and we have a allotted amount of time to get from the bivouac onto the highway to the start of the rally. Do our rally. It's usually around 200 to 400, maybe even 500 kilometers. And then yesterday was pretty rough. Yesterday we had almost a 400 kilometer liaison back after driving all day, and obviously having the marathon as well. So I think we can all agree that liaisons are probably the most brutal part of Dakar sometimes, because it is just, you're in a car for so long. And mind you, the driving in roads in Saudi Arabia, when you're in a Can-Am or an MCU5 is pretty sketchy.
Yeah, so you guys are actually driving on the normal highway with all the traffic, the semis, everything else, right? So is it basically like, like a road section in Baja during a Baja race, but there's no speed limit, right?
Yeah, so exactly that. It's basically a road section like in Baja, just for a lot longer. Technically, there's a speed limit. It's about 130 kilometers an hour, but our cars don't go much faster than that. So we usually cruise around the 100-kilometer-an-hour mark. Obviously, pay attention to all the road signs. A couple of the guys next to me don't really pay attention to the road signs sometimes, but full gas.
No, it's sketchy, dude. Like the other drivers, all these countries that we go to, every driving styles are different in different places, and it's sketchy out here for sure. And especially when it's pouring rain and dark outside, it gets pretty gnarly. So yeah, not so fun.
No street lights most of the time. There's on the highways, there's usually not a lot of lanes. And then you'll come by and then a semi passes you on the shoulder. So it gets pretty.
Now, you guys, they drive on the same side of the road as we do here, right?
Yeah.
Okay, well, that's good. At least you don't have to deal with that in addition to all that other stuff, right? So how is the actual, what kind of reception are you guys getting as Americans or younger adults? What kind of reception you guys get over there? Like, when you go to Baja, everybody's all about it and they're all over you. They want stickers, they want all that. Is the same type thing over there, or what's the reaction like over there?
It's not like in Baja. There's some like around the bivouacs and stuff like that. There's been some fans and like some people have came out and said what's up. So I think that between the first year that we were here in 2020 and this year in 2023, it's grown like massively. I mean, the first year we were here, no one really knew what we were doing here and stuff like that. But now it's starting to grow. There's starting to be more people out there on the race course. Definitely towards the finish, there's more fans and locals and stuff like that. So I think it's starting to catch on a little bit. But it's still, not so crazy about it yet.
How about when you're out on the race course? You just said there is fans along the race course. Does it get a little sketchy? Like, are people in the way? Are they trying to get you to go the wrong way? Like, there's no signs, there's no course markings. You guys are literally following a road book. So how often do you think that people are waving you the right way versus the wrong way? Because how in Baja, they kind of do it on purpose,
Yeah, personally, I don't really look at when people are throwing hand signals at me. I think no matter what, I'm always like, all right, if there's spectators here, it's probably because somebody's about to crash. So I'm going to calm it down a little bit. But I think like 2 days ago when all those people were on the dunes, like I was dipping and diving through a bunch of locals because that was the fast line. That was basically the race line to get to the finish line. We're probably 10, 20 kilometers away. But yeah, they don't really have like a marking or understanding of what we're really doing. So they just kind of park on the dunes, and that's the fast line, or that's how you're not going to get stuck. So it definitely gets pretty hairy.
Yeah. Now that navigating by, not having a GPS and just having notes, how long did it take you guys to learn that? And are you more familiar with that now that you don't really need a GPS anymore, or you like having the GPS, like in Baja? Do you wish you had a GPS over there?
The GPS would make it easier in some spots. The T1, we usually start like, the first T3 is probably like 20th or 20th to 30th usually. So we have a lot of tracks. So like the last 8 days, it's been a lot of rain. So usually by the time we get to most of the spots, you can see like a pretty defined line. I think one area where for us, like the navigation comes into play is in the dunes, because sometimes you can find a little bit quicker way and not follow the tracks. But overall, yeah, I mean, in the beginning, when I first started, I had no idea what I was doing. And now, 3 or 4 years later, like I actually know what my co-driver Kellen's telling me, and we can actually work together, where before, like I was just kind of off doing my own thing, not really listening to what my co-driver was telling me. So it's crazy. It's a really big difference compared to what we do at home, but it's fun. It's a lot more difficult, and you have to really work together with the co-driver, and that's like some areas where you can make up time.
Yeah, I mean, we saw that video of, the other day when the bikes didn't go and the cars had to lead, and it looked like, they were kind of getting lost and there wasn't any tracks to follow. How do you think you guys would have done if you guys were the first cars off the line? How gnarly would that be?
I would have been in the same scenario.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I had really rad opportunity to open up in Abu Dhabi last year. And sometimes though, it's like, it's a lot easier to slow down and listen to the road book than it is to follow lines. Cause obviously the fast guys get lost, you know, a bunch. And I caught myself like being a lot more focused and tentative when there's not any lines besides a couple bike lines. And so sometimes it's kind of a curse when there's 20, 30 cars in front of us, and then we're just so trusting and so locked into that line and driving what we see in front of us that it bites you in the butt sometimes pretty hard.
Yeah, I could definitely see how that would happen. You just get you don't know really what line to trust, and then you start trusting a line, and especially over there. I mean, how big are the dunes compared to Glamis? Because everybody here knows about the Glamis dunes. How big are they compared to Glamis? What do you think?
Imagine going up Oldsmobile like 4 or 5 times.
Yeah.
Is what these dunes are out here.
And that's all day.
One way you could look at like the navigation and stuff, and I think it was stage 3 or something, is they took us into the dunes, and it was like really, really gnarly steep ones. And like the cap heading we follow takes you straight through them. So you'll come over, say, a big rise, and you'll look at a big valley beneath you, and there's a huge dune there. And you'll see lines going everywhere because you can't, unless you're in the Audi or one of the T1s, those guys can go straight up a lot of the stuff. But us, we can't. So we have to go around, and you kind of look at, okay, I could go to the way over to the right. I could go way over to the left. Some people are trying to go up it. Should I try to go up it and save time? So some of the dunes are just insane. I think Dakar Rally posted a few days ago of one of the Audis going up one and just side hilling it for like a minute straight, because even those guys sometimes can't get up them. So it's crazy, and they just go forever out here.
Yeah, it looks like those things are massive. And you guys, like you said, you guys have all-wheel drive, obviously, but you don't have the power that they do. And you guys in the Can-Am, you still have a belt, so you got to take care of your belt, right? You got to monitor the temperatures and everything. Mitch, what do you have in that car for transmission?
It's a 5-speed gearbox. So
okay.
Sometimes it's nice, sometimes it's a little tough in the dunes, but yeah, it's cool. It's a bit different driving style compared to what these guys have, but it's a lot of fun.
Yeah. So what do you think was the hardest stage yet? Was it that one with the water that we saw with the flood, or what do you think's been the hardest stage that you guys have done so far?
I think stage 1 was probably the toughest. With all those rocks.
Stage 2.
Or sorry, stage 2.
Yeah.
Stage 2 was pretty brutal.
Stage 2 is what got me. It was just gnarly rocks. Like, so that's the thing. It's like there's dunes that are 4 or 5 times higher than the Oldsmobile for 300 miles a day. And then you get into the rocks, like kind of like your background right there. This I get gnarly rocks, and that's the race course. Like there's no way to go around it. Like that's where all the lines are. That's where everyone's gone. There's nowhere else to go. That's the race course. So it's like you can only go however fast you're willing to go, and you're pretty much still going to get a flag in it, like, no matter what.
That picture in the background is like the easy part of day 2. It's like that. It was bad. It was.
That's probably why the photographer was there, because he was actually able to get there.
Yeah,
exactly.
Right on. So, go ahead, AJ.
I was just saying the rocks are like they're different rocks. Like they're jagged and they're gnarly.
They take us through areas where when the leaders get there, there's no trail. So one thing we've kind of learned is, you know, when you're in Barstow or somewhere, you're driving over rocks that have been almost rounded off from people driving over them. And out here, you're driving through like rocks that have never been driven on before ever. So they're super jagged and they've like never moved. So it's a lot easier here to get a flat. We only carry 2 spares. So sometimes that's kind of a bit of a game to figure out how fast to go.
Well, that's a good question. So you guys you have 2 spares. Now, is there a pit anywhere halfway through the race section, or if you run out of those 2 spares, you have to make it, well, when is the first availability for you guys to get more spares?
So yeah, we only run 2 spares on the car. Really what we're allowed to run and kind of the space that we have. There is no pits throughout the whole stage. And basically if you get 2 flats and you get a 3rd one, you're kind of either going to repair a tire or try to wait for the T5 behind us. The T5 are usually about 2 hours behind us, I'd say. And then they carry a few spare wheels for us, or if you get lucky and you got a teammate that's willing to give up a spare tire for you, you trade them. But after that, I mean, you got to run on the road section, and then sometimes we're allowed to have a service. The guys will come out and meet us not too far after the finish, but we're not allowed to drive on the highway with a flat tire. So no matter what, you have to wait and try to figure that out, which also comes into play with, you know, if you finish on a flat tire and you can't fix it, we have an allotted amount of time after the stage to get on the highway, the road section, all the way back to the bivouac. So that's another thing that pops into play with flat tires, and yeah, it gets rough.
Yeah, I bet. So the fueling also, you have to make it the whole special without fueling, right? And then who provides the fuel, or do you get to stop at a designated fuel stop that they provide the fuel from, or how does that work?
Yeah, so we have fuel stops. So like at the beginning of the day or the night before, they'll give us like the stage notes, and they'll have a kilometer 205 or something like that. They'll have refuels there. So our engineers tell us how much we need to put in the car based on fuel consumption and the stage from that day and stuff like that. But the organization provides the fuel. They've got like a company, a bunch of local guys and stuff like that, and some guys from the organization that they established with fuel. So we have like an allotted time there too. So it's not like, we're trying to do fast pits or anything like that. So like when we enter the refueling zone, we have 20 minutes that we have to, it's neutralization time. So everyone has to sit there for 20 minutes. You have time, get fuel, do whatever you're going to do, and then get back in. And then you have a timer on your road book or on the tablet road book. And then when that goes off, then you restart. We go like that.
Are you allowed to get out of your car and work on the car at all during that time, or no?
No mechanical anything. Like you can't even like really wipe the windshield.
If you have touch, or you can't pull a stick out.
The other day, like in the really rocky stage, it's actually a lot of fun because we're always usually together. Like we always start usually within 20 minutes of each other. So you pull into that refuel zone. And like, say I'm the first car in, I instantly go, all right, how long till these guys show up? And, are we leading? Is Seth in front of me? Is AJ in front of me? So it's pretty cool. And we can all, we all have 20 minutes to talk and tell our stories of what we've seen and what happened. And yeah, it's crazy. And like, even the other day, like, some of us, sometimes we pull into the refuel zone, we might have a slow leak on our tire and we're refueling. And then we go, oh shit, like like, and then like the other day I was behind AJ and he unfortunately had a slow leaker at the refuel and he's like, well damn, this sucks. And you have to take the start and then they pull over and start changing it right away and you see them right there. And it's just you never know what you're gonna see when you pull into the refuel zone.
You have to be buckled in too. Like they're so strict about how everything. So like with him having a slow leak or me having a slow leak, you go through the start again, all harnessed up, tightened down. They check you, make sure you're all buckled up, and they got to undo it all, get out of the car, get back in. You can't move until even your co-pilot is locked in. Like in America, it's a lot different. I think a lot of, as soon as the co-pilot touches the door, we're moving. But here it's pretty strict.
Yeah, it sounds like it's pretty strict. So obviously at this point in the rally, you guys are all kind of in different scenarios now, right? So Mitch, you had a little bit of bad luck earlier. You're behind on time, but you're still going for stage wins at this point. So are you pretty much stage win or bust at this point and get some development in the car? Like what's your strategy from here out for you, Mitch?
Yeah, it's just stage wins. It's unfortunate what happened. It was stage 5. We lost the steering rack seized up, a bushing, just went bad and stuff happens. But yeah, stage win mode kind of sucks because I've been in this position a few times now and I want to always be competing for the overall. So it is what it is, but it's still so much fun and I'm lucky to be here and support these guys. It's so cool to see both of them, fighting for the overall and right up there. But yeah, that's pretty much my situation now. And it's so different. These guys are in a position where they have to take care of their cars, make sure they get to the finish, and, continue fighting for the overall. So you have in this rally, probably half of the T3s are kind of out of the overall now. And half of them maybe or way less than half actually are still, trying to go for the overall. So it kind of goes now like I'm going for stage wins and these guys are trying to take care of their cars and, make sure that they make it to the finish every day. So it's different mindsets now that kind of happen once you're 8 days in.
Yeah, for sure. Now, Seth, you're in third place, but you're an hour behind, but there's a long way to go. And I don't think people realize that like one bad day could change the whole thing. One good day could change the whole thing. So you're in third. You got to play it a little smart still, right?
Yeah, no, exactly. Obviously an hour is a lot of time. But I mean, one day I was leading the rally and another day I'm down an hour and a half. And the past 4 days we've made up, 20 or so minutes. So, I mean, anything can happen. This rally is so long that an hour, I mean, even close to 2 hours is really nothing in rally rate. I mean, one day can, cost the whole entire race for every single one of us. But yeah, I'm in definitely a way different mode than I was in last year. I was in Mitch's position last year, obviously. And then this year I've been, trying to take it easy. I've been pretty content with just kind of staying within the top 5 every day in the stage and just trying to be there at the finish every day.
Right on. And then AJ, you are sitting pretty close to the lead. You gained a lot of time back that last stage there. So are you being a little bit, obviously I know you're being a little bit more conservative than like Mitch going out there every day, because you can't just go for broke because you have 7 more stages, whatever it is to go. So what is your strategy right now? Are you kind of trying to pace that leader? What are you trying to do?
Yeah, we got 6 more days. So I think for the next couple of days, I'm going to keep doing my thing, just kind of being really conservative, pacing him, seeing what he's going to do. And then, when it comes down to it, if I need to go and we need to try to make up that time, it's 3 minutes right now. So we're going to kind of pace him, see what's going on. And then if we make a decision that we need to go, then we're going to go for it. But for right now, I'm just sticking to the plan, being conservative, and just trying to finish every day, like Seth said, top 5. And just kind of see what we can do as far as that goes. But there's going to be a time when we need to make a decision if we need to go, and we'll see how that works out.
So Seth, is there any your car is your car the same as AJ's?
Yeah, same exact car.
Okay, and then Mitch, does anything on your car work on either of those guys' cars?
No, so I'm not stopping for them.
That's what I was gonna ask. Is there any team orders yet? Like Seth, do you have to stay behind AJ at this point or not? Because when there's the factory teams and you have multiple drivers, at some stage they give out team orders sometimes. Like, hey, you're not to pass this guy because you have parts that'll work on his car if he has a problem. Are you guys at that point yet, or you're not at that point yet?
I would say that for me, I'm not at that point yet. I think we all know an hour is not a lot of time to make up in this rally. Obviously, I'm going to stop for AJ, make sure things all good. Can't say I'm going to stop and help him work on his car, but make sure he's all good. Something I can do to keep him going. We're all a team and a family at the end of the day. But we do have two of our other teammates on the Red Bull Factory Cam team that are about 2.5 to 3.5 hours down. I'm hoping that there's no team orders yet. Obviously, I think we're too far out and not close enough to the end to get to that point, but I'm hoping with them being so far out of the overall that if one of us have an issue or we really need something, then they're understanding that they're a couple more hours down than us, and even if we do wait for the trucks, we'll still probably be in front of them in the overall. So hoping that we get a little bit of support behind that, but I don't think that anybody's really going to be stopping.
Right on. All right. Well, a couple more questions and then we'll let you guys go. So real quick, talk about the sleeping, the eating, and the bathroom situation there. How is it there? Is it shitty or what is it? What's it like there? How does that all work and during the race and at the bivouac?
All right,
It's not ideal.
Yeah, it's not ideal, but however, we're on a good team here.
We're lucky.
So we're super lucky. Some people are roughing it, dude. South Racing, Scott, Red Bull Factory Can-Am, they've got a good setup here. I mean, I think that we're out of everybody in the bivouac, we've got the most popping bivouac for sure.
We got a bivouac inside of a bivouac.
Yeah, so we've got the catering and stuff like that. So that's been pretty nice. Our motorhomes are pretty chill as well. Me and Seth earlier were trying to take out a tent and put it back together, and just even putting it back in the case was absolutely dreadful. So I can't even imagine trying to sleep in it. But yeah, so I mean, the conditions aren't great. Let's not get anything wrong. But for us, I mean, we can't really complain that much because we're pretty spoiled over here on the team that we're on.
I mean, from Mitch and I going from last year to this year, how much has changed? I mean, last year we had no catering, our motorhomes didn't work. We're lucky enough to have the motorhomes, super blessed to have those, but nothing really worked. So it was a semi-rough, and then coming into this year to where now we're just living in basically luxury compared to what we were doing. It is so nice.
I have to, one thing though, is I have to touch on the bathrooms like you asked, because the campers we use, we don't really use the bathrooms in them because it's not a motor home like the United States. It's a little camper. It's like the size of a Sprinter van or something.
Yeah.
So the organization has little bathrooms that are everywhere. It's not a porta potty, it's like a little building. So every morning you wake up and need to use the restroom, but sometimes you go in there and it's just flooded with gross stuff. And you kind of have to like take a walk through the bivouac to like another bathroom and go, oh, this one's actually, they cleaned this one's looking good, and it's usable. So
You got 25 dudes in there taking a dump at the same time.
so that's that's one of the toughest parts about the rally, is trying to find a bathroom that
Smoking
works
stuff.
and is clean.
Maybe you should just take some wet wipes with you in the car, and during a special liaison.
All of us have done that. I got dude wipes stashed
Just
in
about
there,
every day.
ready to go.
Right on. Well, it sounds like you guys are having fun over there, at least. AJ, has your dad cooked up a good barbecue yet, or what? Because I know I've heard some stories before. What do you got barbecue stories for us?
Literally as we speak right now, he's on the queue, dude. The other day, so they have these little things that it's like a big chafing dish from Costco, and it's got like a little grid on top of it, and the bottom part is filled with charcoal. So we bought like 10 of those the other day, because mind you, he's not doing much. He's just hanging out. This is vacation for him. So like I'm just joking. If he's watching this, I'm just joking. But are you? No, but so he bought like 10 of those the other day. So he's been using those. He's a big chicken guy. So he goes to the store, he gets some chicken. But the other day he bought a proper Weber Q. So now we're really cooking gas. And yeah, I think he's on it right now. Honestly, that's what I'm about to hit up right after I do this. So but yeah, no, he's getting after it. He's having fun. So I'm happy he's here.
Awesome. Well, I'm glad you guys are all having fun, and I'm glad you guys could come on for a few minutes. Well, what time is it over there right now? I don't even know what time it is over there.
Almost
48.
What time?
7:48.
7:48 p.m. So you guys are gonna go eat dinner or something after this. What time do you guys start? What time do you guys start tomorrow?
First car is 8 a.m. and I think we're all around the 20th to 30th spot. So we'll probably be around 8:30, 8:45.
That's late. That's what's about.
Yeah, that's a late start.
You get to sleep in a little bit, right? Yeah.
In the morning.
How about those dudes on the bikes that are riding the whole thing and working on their bikes? How gnarly are those guys, huh?
The guys that are riding solo and they're their own mechanics, the Valley Moto guys, I think it's what it's called, if I'm not wrong.
The original
Bimoto.
Yeah.
They are so gnarly. They're sleeping in tents. It's freezing. It's raining. They ride all day. They come back, work on their bikes, and they are nuts. They have to be so miserable. I don't understand how they enjoy it.
I think they like misery. That's the point of doing it, I think.
Yeah.
Right on.
They're bad.
Yeah. Well, I also wanted to give a shout out. I have my Skylar House shirt on, from 2021. So we have an American leading the overall right now. So that's pretty cool. And then hopefully you guys can do what you do and get there at the end. AJ, be smart. You know what to do. I know your dad is telling you what to do, I'm sure 100 times every day. So maybe don't listen to him all the time, just some of the time. but I do want to thank you guys once again for coming on. And one other question for people. How often do you see camels over there? That was a user submitted question. How often are you guys seeing camels?
This year, not that much.
There's one right there.
Just get
I mean, like, honestly, we see him on the roads more than anything, like out on the road sections, on the liaisons. I see him like there's big herds of them crossing the road and stuff like that. Every once in a while, we see him out there in the stage. Not as many this year. Maybe it's the areas that we've been, but
Abu Dhabi is usually one where you're gonna almost run into a camel on the stage.
Yesterday or 2 days ago, I had there was a helicopter waiting on the stage, and I'm like, what's going on? Did someone crash up there? And they were filming us coming at them, and there were camels on right on the edge of both sides of the road, and we just blitzed right through them. And I was like, I told Kellen, I'm like, they just got the sickest shot ever.
I told Dennis, I said, hold your horses, and he's like, hold your camel.
There's a lot of them out there.
Yeah, there's a lot of camels.
All right, well, real quick, give a shout out to your co-driver. Who's all your guys' co-drivers?
Yeah, shout out to Dennis Sens, that crazy German. I love that guy.
Me too. Shout out to Gustavo Gugelman, my Brazilian passenger of mine. That dude he's tough as nails, dude. I love that guy.
Kellen Walsh, I think most Americans know him. He's been around forever, and I'm super happy to have him, sit next to me. It's a good time with Kellen. So Team America.
Right on. All right. Well, everybody here in America is rooting you guys on. I got people here in the comments from Arizona, California, Washington, all over the place. Want to root you guys on and say good luck the rest of the way. you guys have fun and do us proud. All right. And don't do anything too crazy.
Boys back home.
Yeah, sounds good.
Thank
man.
you. It's
Thank
great
you.
having you guys supporting us.
Yeah,
Thank you.
you all.
All right, guys. Thanks again for coming on, and go get some barbecue and go get some sleep.
Sounds
See you guys.
good.
Sounds good, man. Thanks, Fish.
All right. See ya.
Thank you.